If you're just joining us, my special guest today is Dr. Jason Nicholas. He is the president and chief medical officer of his own company. It's called Preventivevet, and his whole philosophy is to be proactive towards your pet health care rather than reactive. But right now, why don't we talk about your company? I think it's very important. I love the name Preventivevet. I love the whole concept. I love the concepts of being proactive. We talk about that all the time, both medically and from management standpoints too. And I think it's very important. But let's talk about your company.
So Preventivevet, I mean, really what we do is we're an online, we're online and offline in reality. I mean, the website is preventivevet.com. And we've got a ton of articles on really important topics, both health, safety, training, behavior. I guess that's more than both, but all those topics. I mean, we cover the relatively obscure from, raising awareness of, well, unfortunately, xylitol is still obscure, but hopefully not in the very near future. Dogs getting into Gorilla Glue and having some crazy looking, gastric foreign bodies with Gorilla Glue. Cats and the dangers of lilies to cats, linear foreign bodies. So we cover a lot of health and safety issues. We cover diabetes, obesity, and then we get into the training. There's just so much that people really need to know to help keep their pets as healthy and safe as they possibly can. And vets, when a client goes to their vet, we vets don't have all the time to raise this awareness. And even if we did, people would tune it out. It would literally take hours and you'd lose them after the first 5-10 minutes. People have busy lives. So we decided to put a lot of this online for people to, to view ideally proactively, but unfortunately a lot of it winds up being reactive. I mean, some of our most popular articles are the articles. We've got a 3-part series on GDV and bloat. And a lot of people come there when their dog is bloated and they want to do, and if they could do something at home. Unfortunately, probably our most popular article, aside from, fortunately, the xylitol and peanut butter one, is our 3-part article series on feline urethral obstruction.
Okay.
And again, unfortunately, that's very reactive. I wish it was more proactive when we are trying to get it there, because there's some simple things people can do to help decrease their cat's chances of UO. And in fact, urethral obstruction is one of the primary reasons why I started Preventivevet. It's one of the most frustrating conditions to treat, not because you can't treat it, but because oftentimes they reobstruct and it gets expensive and there's a lot of economic euthanasia around it. There's a lot of pain and suffering. So we got this online resource that we want vets sharing our articles. They're written by me, they're overseen by me, or they're written by other specialists. They're great resources for vets to share. But what we've also done is we've actually also published a series. We're actually getting ready to release the feline version. We've got some great client education books. They're called the 101 Essential Tips for your puppy or new dog, and soon to be 101 Essential Tips for your cat or new kitten. And they're 101 tips and pearls of knowledge and awareness raisers and conversation starters for definitely brand new puppy or kitten owners, but even experienced pet owners have learned things from these. I've even had vets reach out to me and say, I've learned something from your books. And they're little nuggets to raise awareness. Then we've got more information on the website, or ideally the vet is then, continuing the conversation, whether it be about heat stroke or xylitol or lily toxicity or bloat, or even, a lot of the other things that we more traditionally think about in the profession of prevention. We have some tips on vaccines, some tips on parasite preventatives, pet insurance, knowing where your local emergency room is, knowing the number for ASPCA poison control, taking a pet first aid course, having a pet first aid kit, travel safety. It literally runs the gamut, and including some behavior training stuff. A lot of the stuff that happens with cats is related to their litter box setup. And unfortunately, a lot of people have one small litter box. They have it crammed in the basement and they've got, 3, 4, 5 cats. And unfortunately, those are the cats that start peeing outside the litter box, and they wind up getting relegated to the outdoors or relinquished to shelters or brought in for euthanasia. So there's a lot of stuff that's just simple things, walk in the house, don't put your purse or your backpack or your gym bag on the floor or on the couch, hang it on a wall hook or put it in the closet. I mean, that will protect your pet, cat or dog, from any number of problems. So really what we try and do is get the information and awareness out there in a digestible, fun, engaging, but reliable way. There's a lot of information out on the web. There's what we in the profession call Dr. Google.
Yep.
I always say, I am trying to give Dr. Google an actual vet degree, because we are never going to prevent pet owners from going to the web, to the internet. We're not. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't try, because they need information and we're not always there. Hey, we need to sleep, right? 2 o'clock in the morning, you've got a client whose dog is, bloating or, staggering, whatever.
Yep.
Ideally, they go to the ER, but sometimes they just want a little bit of advice, kind of calm their mind, and they're going to go online. And what we want them to find reliable resources when they go online, so that they're not trying things that are just going to, worsen it. They're not staring at a cat that's got a urethral obstruction thinking, oh, he's just constipated, or, whatever. It's just a urinary tract infection. Like, that is serious emergency. Get to the ER now. So we try and help people keep their pets out of the ER. But the other side of it is we actually help them recognize when they need to go, so they get there sooner. So that the prognosis is better, the costs are typically lower, and there's less pain and distress for their pet. You watch a dog, elbows pointed out, unproductively retching, maybe their stomach is distended. We don't want them saying, if they're still doing it in the morning, I'm going to call my vet first thing, or I'm going to be at my vet's front door when they first open, because the likelihood is that the dog is going to die by the time they get there. Or even if they don't, part of the stomach is going to have necrosed, and at surgery they're probably going to have to be euthanized. So we want them recognizing the emergencies for what they are and knowing what and how to deal with them. And so we help them do that as well. There's really, for any number of reasons, helping people really proactively keep their pets healthy and safe is just what drives us here at Preventivevet. It's truly a passion project.
And so how did you link up with your contributors to the articles
just
and stuff?
Through connections, through, vet school professors, or, in the local veterinary community here in Portland, I'm very involved, and we've got a ton of, phenomenal specialists around here. But then also just through social networking and such. There's just some brilliant minds. I love our profession. There are some absolutely brilliant minds and wonderful people. And they want to share what they know. I mean, nobody got into this profession to make billions of dollars, because it's just not going to happen. They got into this profession to help people. And so if they have an opportunity to share that knowledge and help, keep pets healthy and safe and out of pain, a lot of them are going to do it. And the same is, could be said for the trainers that are out there. They see the downside of not properly training a dog, or not properly setting up a good litter box environment for your cat, or not feeding your cat right, or whatever it is. And when you really start talking to people, they want to prevent these things. And so they're happy to share their knowledge. They're happy to write articles and get that awareness. So through a variety of methods, really.
No, and kudos to you, Jason. It's just awesome. For our listening and watching audience, so if a veterinary professional or someone just wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way of getting hold of you?
I mean, really through the website. We've got a contact us form, which I think you scroll all the way to the bottom left, and there's a form to submit if you're a veterinary professional or a pet owner. Our 101 Essential Tips books, those are actually available at a veterinary discount for vet practices, because ideally what we want vets doing is giving them away in puppy and kitten packs. So we give vets a very significant discount. I mean, and for pet owners, they're only $9.95. $10, that'll save you thousands, plus your dog or your cat's life. Well worth it.
That's great. That's great. Well, thanks so much, Jason. It was just very informative. Mission statement is to get that xylitol out of products, and I think I commend you for taking the stance and being proactive about that. And best of luck with Preventivevet.
Thanks very much, Michael.
Okay, so remember, everyone, love your pet like they love you, unconditionally. Have a great day.